Hi, this is Alex Fleming, coaching on a video provided by Charlotte Constable for an online coaching session. So hi Charlotte, we're going to start here on your first video. And just the first thing we're going to look at here is the fact that we're having to sort of kick every stride there to maintain this walk. What I want you to try and do is just give him one clear edge, just a small kick, and then if he doesn't respond very quickly in the moment, a little tap. I can see you've got a schooling whip there, so you can just give him a little tap with the schooling whip. If he trotted off or anything, that's fine. We will never punish the forwardness. You just quietly bring him back to the walk and then sit quietly. And you sitting quietly is his little bit of peace, okay? So the second thing here, I've paused the video, is your position. So we need to make sure that we're sitting shoulder, hip, heel in line, and that there's a straight line from the bit down to your wrist and to your elbow. So I want you to try and imagine, Charlotte, when you're sitting in the saddle, can you see how your core is unengaged, a little bit slumped? So I want you to imagine if you were full of water, I think I might have said this to you before, from your feet up to where your belly button sits, a line around your middle there, that the water would be slightly coming out of your belly button. So you are holding yourself up. Imagine I'm stretching your spine, almost like I've got hold of the top of your skull cap and I'm pulling you upwards, okay? What that'll do then is it'll allow freedom through your hips to let your legs drop down in a much more comfortable position and a much more effective leg position. So the angle through your leg should be such that the knee is pointing downwards. I've just drawn on the image there so you can see that your hands need to come up in order to keep that nice connection from the bit down to your wrist to your elbows, okay? I just wanted to go through this bit in a little bit more detail. I've drawn a picture for you. So if you look, Charlotte, what we've got is our horse, nice happy rider with her hard hat on. And what I need you to make sure of is that when you're sitting on the horse, so I've already talked about this shoulder, hip, heel line, okay? And then we talked about the line from the bit down to the hand, down to the shoulder, okay? But what you also need to bear in mind, Charlotte, and this is where we're missing out, where the top part of your leg here, this part, if I was to draw an arrow going all the way down that leg, it would be pointing down. What's happening with yours, your arrow is somewhere over here, okay? And what that causes is a blockage. So once you put your leg on, you've kicked the horse, the energy should be able to make a nice loop all the way around until the horse is raising his back, okay? If you're sitting with a heavy seat on the horse, you're going to cause a blockage, okay? I'm just going to show you my lower leg. I might have to change the camera angle a little bit. So this is ideal position with your lower leg on the horse, okay? You can see that my angle through my knee would be pointing down, and through my belly button, the water would be slightly trickling out. You know, we talked about if you're full of water, up to this midline here, the water would be slightly trickling out. And also in this way, if the horse was to disappear underneath me, I'd land on my feet. It's just like if you were doing a squat. So here I've got shorter stirrups, longer stirrups, but I'd be in my own centre of balance, okay? I just hold on to this chair here, and I'll have to do to show you your position. So your lower leg, ignore the back one, because I can't sustain that position without my horse, okay? So what that means is that you're using the horse's back as your balancing point, okay? You're creating an unnecessary point of contact and pressure. So as you put your leg on, the horse tries to bring his back up, he's going to be met with some resistance there, okay? And it's going to be blocking him, stopping him moving forward, okay? Once you're in this position where you can support yourself, then you're able to, through your lower back, nice and supple, absorb the movement. And that's when you'll find that sitting trot easier for you as well, which we're going to do lots of work on. So I hope that helped a little bit, Charlotte. We'll go back to Right, Charlotte, so we'll go back to your video now and just give you time to really focus on what I was saying about the leg not kicking and your position sitting a little bit slumped onto the back of the saddle, and that those hands needing to come up a little bit, okay? So you just keep focusing on that, And you can see that rein's jiggling around a little bit. I need you to try and just feel his mouth. If you want him to take up a little more pressure, once he's going forward, you'll be able to do this because you'll have some energy to take a little half halt on. But for now, I just want you to keep a consistent feeling down to his mouth. Okay? Yeah, so there we used the stick to get him into trot, but it was probably a little bit late. So I just want to make sure, again, find your aid for trot, have clarity about that, and if he doesn't listen, a little tap. He's got a lovely forward going trot. I'm really super pleased with this. Really lovely bounce, lovely pace, okay? Just again, if we could just lift the hand, shorten the rein a little bit, and just maintain that consistent contact to his mouth, that'd be a lovely picture there. So thinking about those thumbs on top of your reins. There you are. And again in the canter, Charlotte, is a lovely forward rhythm, really nice natural pace, a lovely little horse to work with. But just look how your hands have gone quite low. And that's causing you to pivot on your hands there, Charlotte, okay? Can you see how that's causing that rock through your body? You need to let your hands come up and let yourself ride with your leg on and confident tall position. Maybe gone. There you are. Okay, so that's nice, Charlotte. It's looking nice and forward, a little bit softer in your seat there. That's good. There, you need to tap, tap, tap. Get him going in front of the leg. So straight away, don't stand for nagging. You need to be really clear. What is your aid for walk? And leave it at that, okay? And then let him walk underneath you, because now he's actually walking on, but you've just got into this bit of a habit of kicking, okay? You've got to sit quiet, concentrate on your own position, and look where you're going. Don't look down at him and his neck. Look up around this corner to where you're going to be going next. Lifting those hands. Can you see how it's pushing your shoulders forward? What a lovely walk he's got there. Look, really nice, tracking up. What I mean by that is that the back legs are falling into the footprints of the front legs. Again, if you could just get those thumbs on top, bend those elbows, lift those hands, that'd be a lovely picture there. It's a bit better through your position. He's sitting a little lighter. He's moving really freely. Looks nice. Okay, here we are. Let's have a look again. Yes, it's the same thing, so I just want to make sure you're not over-niggling with those reins. I want you to lift the hands, just concentrate on what we've said in this replay. That's it, nice. Okay, so he's bending really nicely. He's a really nice, supple little horse. There, just showing that little bit of weakness through the core, Charlotte, so just concentrate on growing tall. Look up where you're going. That's the main thing for you. Look where you're going. More leg. I'd want much more leg on now, much less just feeling on the rein, not niggling, and much more leg. Every time you rise, belly button out, belly button out. Okay, looking at where you're going. With a nice purpose and sense of direction here, Charlotte. This has really improved from last time I saw you. I can see your plan. Can see what you're working on, and that's always good to see. A nice counter transition, so we'll work on your position a little bit so the sitting trot improves. Other than that, that was nice response. Again, pivoting on those hands, Charlotte, get your hands up, get that lower leg on. Then think leg on in the downward, nice transition. Probably wouldn't have gone straight into walk, you just want to encourage him forward at the minute. That's a nice walk, you just lift your hands, he's going forward there. Ah, did you see that bit of a niggle going on before we trotted? Yeah, you must concentrate on keeping the hands still, so there's definitely no backward. We'll play that again for you. So watch, nice walk. Then you started to do a bit of knitting there, yeah, before the transition. Knit, 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 especially on that inside rein. And sometimes with riders we can be really tempted to do that. If they're feeling a little unsupple, not quite listening, we can get a bit of a habit going on. You've got it there on your left rein. Nice transition. Good. So don't worry that he went on the wrong leg. You just have your plan that you're just going to quietly bring him back and ask him again. So there we're probably cantering a bit too long on the wrong leg.
Wrong
You
leg.
do want to allow a few strides just so he doesn't, you know, feel
Wrong
negative
leg.
about it. He's been allowed to go forward, but don't let him canter for too long on the wrong leg. That's it, so just recouping yourself.
Yeah.
So don't worry, so hopefully Charlotte, let's see what you do here. You just bring him back quietly, look where you're going, and ask him again. Ideally, 1, 2, 3, back to trot.
Wrong leg.
Ideally, let's see. So not too bad, yeah, good. And then if you look where, yeah, look where you're going. Perfect. That was much, much better,
Sit.
Charlotte. Can you see how that time you were focused on looking around your circle, just quietly bringing him back and just keeping the aid there until you got what you wanted. So if you keep repeating that, Charlotte, he'll get stronger. There, didn't have our leg on in that downward transition, and you must stop this coming straight back to walk, okay? You must sit up and get your leg on and always trot him forward. No more canter to walk, canter to nice forward trot. Okay, so I think we're looking at your jumping video now. Let's see how we get on. So when I watched this Charlotte, the first thing I noticed was the canter is a little bit slow for jumping, and we still got those hands pivoting a little bit, okay? So it was that lacking of pace that caused you to get tight into that jump. Right, so we're going to have another look through, we're going to move on. So have a look, needed to be more forward. Here we needed to not pivot on the hands. That would have allowed you to land in a better position and keep the corner, because you cut the corner at the top. What that causes is it causes the horse to fall on his inside shoulder. Okay, and then he props you over the last jump a little bit, so just watch that again. So there, come on, get that stick on him, sit up tall. A lot of this is position related, Charlotte. So here you could have sat up, and then he would have jumped if he was in a bigger canter. And here, use your corner, yeah? Don't let him cut in. And that was quite nice. The lower leg flew back a little bit there, but that's all coming from needing to use that core. Because if we could have landed in a better position over the jump, then we could have ridden away more inside leg, outside rein, and got the corner. So, just going to go again. We're focusing on how your position is affecting how effective you can be as a rider. So there, you know, you needed to be able to get that leg on. Here, if we'd sat up, got more leg on, we'd have had a stronger canter. Could have landed in a better position to ride him to the fence. Here, you should have opened your outside rein and then cut your leg on so we didn't fly back and we don't end up too forward in the saddle. Nice. Yeah, and it's a cracking little jump, really nice little horse. Again, he just looks so honest, really nice personality to work with. I'm just going this in slow-mo so you can really watch. So, luckily, Charlotte, he's got a really nice natural rhythm in the canter. So you can just pop a little bit more leg on and you're there with that perfect jumping canter. You can really see that lower leg back there, can you see? Using too much strength through your hand sitting on his pommel of the saddle and your knees, rather than sitting up tall letting that leg grow long. So we'll have a look. So he's got his lovely little canter who's going to come in a minute. Nice transition. Look how bouncy he is, what a gem. So he's going to be super Charlotte with a little bit of work, isn't he? So there, just imagine yourself growing through your hat and lifting those hands a little bit. Not bad there, good. And so what you can imagine is if the stride was a little bit bigger, the canter was a little bit more forward, then he would have made up the distance here and been able to take a slightly bigger stride rather than sort of getting a little bit in the bottom of this fence. And even more so, you wouldn't have got propped up the neck there. Can you see how that happened? If you'd had more leg on and you get used to that feeling of pushing that belly button out. And so you're going to see the effect here as you come round this corner of what happens when he ends up leaning on that inside shoulder, Charlotte. So because we've cut the corner, we've not got enough inside leg and outside rein. So there, we really need some inside leg, and open that outside rein, turn your hips around the corner, and then you can see, look how much he's leaning on that inside shoulder. And if he wasn't so balanced and natural in the canter, that could have led him to rush there, but luckily he didn't. He's got a lovely canter. And he actually comes in here. I want you to think, grow. Get that lower leg on. Over the fence. Don't let the lower leg fly off. Lovely little jump. Wait for you to come back round. Right, so I want you to watch this. So this is a video of me and Fonz, and what I'm wanting you to watch here is how little I'm really folding over the fence and how much I'm using my core. So imagine here, I'm growing, so this is through a grid now, so I want you to see as the horse gets near the fence, my lower leg is really on. And then I'm thinking belly button out, sit back up again. And belly button out. Yeah, so I'm almost sitting upright before he's landed there. Yeah, and same here. And then sitting upright. And then you see I could have put that inside leg on, opened my outside rib. Charlotte, so there's 3 things from the video that I've identified for you as your goals. We're not going to do any more than that for now because I don't want to overwhelm you. And I think these things will have a knock-on effect into other things as well. Okay, so they're going to be your position, number 1, getting the horse more forward in the walk, and practicing maintaining a nice consistent contact. Now these are outlined with timescales and a detailed action plan of how you're going to achieve these in your performance report, which I've emailed over to you. But in the meantime, I want to explain the exercise so it's really clear, and then any questions you can just give me a call and we'll go through a little bit more. But imagining this is our arena, your arena at home, what I'd like you to do is start off just by going round the edge, just in a trot, because it's a naturally more forward pace, and I want you to just concentrate on that rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2. Think about that position that we've talked about. I've given you a guide to that in the report. So once you're in that really good position, just focus on staying in that position, feeling through the rein. Is it a nice consistent contact? Am I just following the weight that he's offering me? If I want a little bit more, I can squeeze a little bit with my leg, take a little rebalance, a little half halt to adjust that amount of pressure down the rein, but at no point am I thinking backwards with the hand. Okay, remember that circle of energy, it's always coming forward to the hand, leg up to hand. That makes sense? So once you've got that and you're trotting around your arena, we're going to progress to making a big figure of 8, and you're going to ride this like 2 changes of rein rather than a test figure of 8. So you're going to be going across like this. Okay, and then once he is trotting and you feel like the change of rein isn't breaking your position, isn't breaking the rhythm, you're going to ask for the walk round here. Walk, 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 aiming to trot on here. Now what that's doing is it's giving a bit of direction, giving a little bit of purpose to where you're asking for the walk and where you're asking for the trot. And you need to remember, when you ask for the walk, you're not going to slump back into your seat, you're going to grow tall, squeeze the leg onto the walk. Yeah, so you give your walk aid, leg stays on, walking forward. It's not an aid where the leg comes off and the horse just drops back behind you, which is what's happening at the minute. Okay, then you're focusing on your end goal where you're going to trot off positively again thinking trot on, maintain the core and forward up into the trot. Okay, and we're going to maintain this really simple exercise until eventually you feel like it can just be a transition of 4 to 5 strides and back into trot again. Okay, you might even find at the beginning that at this point here he isn't walking forward yet, in which case you can carry on your figure of 8 until he is, and then trot on again. Make sure the walk's right before you go back up into trot. Okay, now I mentioned in your report that you're going to be doing some little exercises off the horse before you get on, and I want you to do this every time. So you're maintaining this posture at the minute, a little bit like this, and I'm imagining that you're walking like this as well, a little bit rounded through your shoulders, and this is not engaging your core. Okay, so just before you get on, and don't worry about looking silly, I'm sure I look a bit silly right now as well, I want you to just make sure You just have a stretch up every time before you ride. Firstly, just to open your shoulders, just roll both shoulders back. And the next thing I want you to do is just a really simple exercise to engage your core. So once you've found that position, I want you to take this leg up in front of you, find your riding position with your hands, then you're just going to take this leg out to the side and then hold it out and just hold for a few seconds, then bring it back in. And you're going to do the same again. So bring the leg up, bring the leg out, kick out, and then bring it back in. And just doing that simple exercise, I can feel my core just starting to support. It just takes that time as well, that you're not rushing to the yard, rushing to get on, sort of just getting on straight away like this. It just makes you aware, and that's all I'm wanting to gain out of this exercise. Okay, Charlotte? So good luck. Pick up the phone if there's any problems, and we'll catch up with our video call in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll see how it's all going. Bye for now.